What is up, everybody? UG here, and today I'm going to have a quick 7.3 Red Paladin PvP guide. Red Paladin really hasn't changed much since like 7.1. The only big change was the change to Lawbringer, and that's about it. So I'm going to go over the talents real quick, then I'll go into PvP rotation, and I've already gone over comps in a different video, so I think that's about it. So first off, first tier, you're gonna want to play Final Verdict pretty much all the time. Execute Sense isn't that good, and Consecration is just terrible. Tier 30, Zeal 90% of the time, but you can play the Fires of Justice sometimes when you're playing Crusade. It just makes getting Holy Power easier. Tier 45, you're pretty much only going to want to play Fist of Justice. Repentance is kind of hard to get off as red, and Blinding Light isn't really as good as red also. So Fist of Justice, and Fist of Justice is so good as red. You can get it off DR easily, before then even. Tier 60, pretty much Blade of Wrath, 90% of the time also. It's just way better than Divine Hammers now. You pretty much just straight up do more damage while playing Blade of Wrath than you do with Divine Hammers now, unless they're triple stacked the entire game and you're cleaving the entire time. Blade of Wrath is going to do more damage, but in those situations where you can do that, Divine Hammers is good, or against a healer that's really bad at healing spread pressure, but it's really good at healing single target. It's pretty decent against things like Disc Priest. Tier 75, just switch around whenever. You're going to want to be eye for an eye almost always whenever there's a melee on the team. And then if there's a cast, if it's double caster or something, you can either go Just Cause Vengeance or Word of Glory. I recommend Just Cause Vengeance more so than Word of Glory, just because while using your Holy Power, you also get to do damage. I mean, you use your Holy Power, do damage, and heal. So it's everything you want. But these two talents are kind of, you don't generally use these two talents unless you have a Divine Purpose proc most of the time, because you don't want to use your normal Holy Power. Like, you don't want to straight up use 5 Holy Power on Just Cause Vengeance most of the time, when you could just get out 2 Temperance Verdict that does way more damage. And tier 90, it's Divine Intervention, sadly. You can play Cavalier if you know a team's not going to go you and you just need the extra mobility, but Divine Intervention is so good that there's just no point in not playing it at this point. And Judgment of Light is just terrible. I actually don't even know why this is an ability. Like, the Seal, what was it called? I don't remember what it was. It was like Seal something, but that was actually a decent thing. You could actually play it in certain situations, but Judgment of Light is actually unplayable. Always. I don't think it's even good at PvE or even leveling or anything. It's just bad. But yeah, okay, so tier 100, Divine Purpose or Crusade, it's just whatever you prefer. Crusade, you do way more burst damage. Divine Purpose has random burst plus way more consistent damage. Holy Wrath is not good anymore, it's just pretty bad. Now PvP talents, trinkets, whatever you want to play. This tier is generally always Reinforced Armor. You can play sparring against double melee, but I honestly don't even know if it matters at all. I pretty much never spec out of Reinforced Armor nowadays, unless I just randomly do it because I feel like it. Jurisdiction is your best talent most of the time, but if you don't have a slow, you want to go Law and Order. Or if you do have a consistent slow and you're just training like a healer, or the target you're hitting is your Hodge target also, then you'll want to go Unbound Freedom for the movement speed. It's really good. Just not as good as the other two in most situations. Holy Ritual, Cleansing Light, Luminescence. If you're playing 3s, you're going to pretty much want to play Luminescence all the time. You can play Cleansing Light against Asteroid teams. It's really good at getting out, dispelling all the poisons. It can also be good against Unholy DKs, I think. Yeah. And Holy Ritual, I'd say you play if you're doing 2s with no healer, or you are doing 1v1s and stuff. Vengeance Aura, Blessing Sanctuary, Seraphic Blessing. Blessing Sanctuary is always best if you're playing 2s or 3s. against a team that has a stun that It's just really good. Gets your teammate out of a stun, silence, fear, horror effect. Can get pre-silence, warrior fear. Pretty sure it can get shadow priest, dispel, horror, and also affliction lock, UA silence also. Venusaur is good if you don't really have to worry about too many of those types of CC, or if you just want to do as much damage as you can. Then Seraphim's Blessing is probably good if you're doing 1v1s or 2s against a team that doesn't have a stun. But overall it's pretty bad. It's only useful when your HP is under 40% and it has a 15-second cooldown. It's just not that good in my opinion. Last tier, Lawbringer, Divine Punisher, and Hammer of Reckoning. You're gonna want to play Lawbringer most of the time. You can play Divine Punisher if you're just going one target, because the free holy power is pretty nice. But the extra 5% damage whenever you use Judgment is so strong that it's pretty much not worth switching out of. And Hammer of Reckoning, it's just bad. It sounds like it would be really cool, but then you use it and Hammer of Reckoning literally does like 100k damage at most. It just ends up not, and then it wastes a global, which ends up leaving you with 5 seconds of wings, or 11 seconds of crusade. It just doesn't feel good in any situation really. I'd have to test it more to see if there's any way to make it work. Okay, now I'm gonna go over the basic rotation for PvP. It's pretty simple. It's pretty much you open up Blade of Justice, get Zeal, get to 3 Holy Power, use Judgment, Templar's Verdict, after Templar's Verdict, use your Wakes of Ashes, Templar's Verdict again. If your Blade of Justice is off cooldown, Blade of Justice, by then your Judgment should be off cooldown. So then you Judgment again, Templar's Verdict, and then you pretty much go from there. I'm gonna prioritize things, so pretty much you use Blade of Justice whenever you have less than 4 Holy Power, but try to make sure that you have the Templar's Verdict buff as much as you can. Sometimes you can't really help it, like if you Blade of Justice and get a proc for Blade of Justice again, you just press Blade of Justice again. Then you use that Zeal as a filler whenever you don't have anything else to press, just to get Holy Power, and then use Judgment just right before you're about to use a bunch of Holy Power, or you can just throw it out as Burst, since it does that 5% HP, that 5% of their HP as damage, which is really strong. And I'm just gonna go over it real quick. Blade of Justice, Zeal, Judgment, Templar's Verdict, Artifact, Templar's Verdict, Blade of Justice, Templar's Verdict, Blade of Justice, Templar's Verdict, Justice, Zeal, Judgment, Templar's Verdict, Blade of Justice, etc. Blade of Justice procs a lot, as you can see, so you're going to be throwing that out a lot. Just make sure that you get the damage buff from Judgment, from Templar's Verdict. That's pretty much it. And the only awkward situation sometimes is when you're at like 4 Holy Power and you have a proc, but your Blade of Justice is also off cooldown. Sometimes it might be worth pressing Blade of Justice, because by the time you get through all of your procs and everything and Holy Power, it's gonna be off cooldown again, and also tends to do as much damage as Templar's Verdict, sometimes more, depending on how crits work. So yeah, but if you don't do that, you can just throw out the Templar's Verdict normally and then use Blade of Justice after. It's not too big of a difference, but the other way I'd say is slightly more DPS in my opinion. And yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about, because I've already talked about comps to play in a different video, and the other things that I'd want to talk about would require a video on their own, kind of just like the I'm probably going to make a video going over just the straight up playstyle of Ret in Arena right now, just the way to do the best you can, I guess. But yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.